When you buy a property in the Netherlands, there are a lot of people involved in the whole process. But what do they exactly do? We'll explain in this video.
Okay, first of all, you have a selling agent, or verkoopmakelaar in Dutch. A selling agent sells properties. So if you already own a property, a selling agent helps you within the entire process of selling your house. But also for first-time buyers, you come across a selling agent quite often. They're often the first person you meet at a viewing. They can help you with providing you with several additional information about the property that you're looking at, and usually you also make your offer at the selling agency. Apart from the selling agent, there's also a purchase agent, an aankoopmakelaar.
That's the person that actually looks for a property, puts in the offer, and also makes sure to negotiate a little bit before that, and also make sure that as soon as your offer is accepted, that they review the purchase agreement. They're the person that ensures that everything is in order.
Well, what happens then if you actually have bought a property? One of the first things you do is get the house valuated, and that is done by an appraiser, or taxateur in Dutch. An appraiser will determine the market value of the property. And this is a very important limit, because in the Netherlands you can finance a maximum of 100% of that market value. That is, of course, if that's also feasible based on your income. So let's say the appraiser says that your property is worth 400,000. If that's also possible based on your income, your maximum mortgage then becomes 400,000.
There's another very important person that you have to deal with during this process, and that's the mortgage advisor. You have several options. You can go directly to your bank, but as you can imagine, a bank is really focusing on selling their own mortgage products. There are more than 35 mortgage providers to choose from, so it might be wise to compare these not only on interest rate, but also on terms and conditions. Another option that's way better than going to the bank directly is an independent mortgage advisor. There are some mortgage advisors that can only choose out of a selected amount of mortgage providers, but there are also mortgage advisors that can offer you all the mortgage providers available in the market. An independent mortgage advisor can make sure to offer you not only the best interest rate, but also the best terms and conditions that meet your specific situation.
Of course, one of the most important parties is the mortgage provider, or geldverstrekker in Dutch. When we apply for your mortgage, we can choose out of 35 mortgage providers. They include, of course, your bigger banks, ING, Rabobank, ABN, but also insurance companies and lesser-known providers. In selecting the right mortgage provider, we of course first look at the interest rate. You don't want to overpay, but on top of that, the terms and conditions may also be very relevant. For example, are you even eligible for a mortgage based on the amount of years or months that you have been in the Netherlands? How much can you repay additionally each year? Which mortgage provider will let you rent out the property temporarily? Do we need to meet several deadlines that are in your purchase contract? Do we need to act fast? We take all of that into consideration. We're completely independent and choose the best mortgage provider for your situation. One of the options you have is to conduct a technical inspection of the property that you've bought. And that is done by a building inspector or a technical inspector. In Dutch, bouwtechnische keurder. A technical inspector looks at the state of the property and determines if there are any necessary costs or any hidden malfunctions that you're not aware of. In my opinion, it's highly recommendable because you're buying something of several hundreds of thousands of euros, most likely, and a technical inspection is a relatively low cost within your whole financial picture.
And finally, the last person that you meet in the process is the notary. The notary office is actually the place where you go to sign two deeds. One is the property deed, which makes you owner of the property, and the other one is the mortgage deed, which actually puts the mortgage on the property. This is where you go on the date of transfer and also where you receive the keys to your new home. These are the most important people that you meet during this process. I hope with this information you're better prepared to buy your next home.